night again. Woo! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, we got in the building. The link's already in there. Ugh. Doing more live streams this week than ever before. Come on. Going an open panel since nobody else is doing anything open, so might as well. Got Distro in the building. Who else in the motherfucking building? Doing an open panel. Link in the description. Come on, come on. Been interesting. Two things we found out this week. One, when it comes to this debating on YouTube, still the undefeated of the East. Number two, black men are the garbage men of the dating world. God damn. Aisha Curry is a 6, and some of y'all say Stucco's a 5. Oh, God. Oh, God. Really? Really? Yeah. Oh, that lets me know black people don't like standards. Oh, my goodness. I like to see the pool. Oh, yeah. Plus, Angry Man and the old man made up, reforming the Avengers. Oh, man. What else happened in the news? Oh, man. Joining us, our favorite deity. Oh, man. Our favorite deity. Oh, my goodness. What's up, Bay?
I figured that's why you was laughing.
Oh, man. I keep forgetting how much this motherfucker looks like Brian McKnight. Shout out to Brian McKnight. Clicking his heels and smoking a cigar. My nigga.
Yeah, I saw he was in the news. What happened?
He won a whole lot of money.
His ex-wife.
$40?
Well, said Bill. His ex-wife wrote a scathing tell-all book full of lies, and guess who what? And then try to slander his name, but guess who what?
Oh, he sued her for slander.
Slander.
I mean, print is libel. Slander is broken. Print is libel. So he sued her for libel.
Be liable for her book. City boy, city boy, city boy, city boy.
Hi, Brian.
Evening.
You were right.
I beg your pardon?
You were right.
About?
Justin Fields cannot play football. He sucks. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, but you were right.
I know you did. I know you did.
That dude is trash. That dude is trash. I've been meaning to tell you that ever since the Steelers got rid of him.
Do you know I still get people coming after me saying, give Justin Fields a chance? I did. And he sucks.
Look, when you end the game with negative 4 yards pass,
negative 10 yards
pass. 10, excuse me, negative 10. Bruh.
Negative. He threw. Listen, when you end the game with as many completions as sacks taken, and it equals negative yardage, you got big problems.
Big
He
old
not
problem.
even good enough to play in the Canadian League.
The Canadian League doesn't want him. The Canadian Football League. Listen, the Patriots let go of Nathan Rourke. He walked his ass back to the Canadian Football League and is about to win MVP for the BC Lions. Justin Fields. You know when we did the draft, the night we did the draft, and Cleveland made some of the picks that they made, and you were like, "Don't mess with me."
Oh, you know what? I was wrong.
Yeah,
I was wrong. Mason Graham is amazing. He just need to get some muscle on them arms. Schlesinger is out there looking like Clay Matthews Sr.
And Myles
linebacker.
And Myles Garrett needs to shut up.
Myles Garrett actually no, because they're not even playing him like they should be playing him. They're taking him out of the game in certain downs and distances. And I'm like, why?
I mean, from this standpoint, I don't mean in terms of scheme. I mean, from this standpoint, he's complaining about not being played, and rumors are floating around. He's complaining about wanting out again, but you chose to sign the extension with them.
You took the money.
You took the money and ran.
You took the money.
You had San Francisco coming after you. You had Green Bay coming after you. You even got entertained by Gerald.
Look, you already know what I was. I'm sorry. I don't mean to dominate the show, the subject. You okay, Charles?
Oh man, I'm chilling. I mean, shit, y'all talking.
Okay, I mean, you know,
I'm doing this for everybody since nobody else.
You fell asleep on this.
Yeah, I was tired. I came off of work.
No, there you go.
The way I see it, the Myles Garrett trade, for me, it starts with your first, second, third, and your first and second, or your second, third.
For me, Myles Garrett trade
prices made the best team who's ready to mortgage their future win.
Just like the Bears did for DJ Moore, a running joke on my morning show.
Yeah, but this is Myles Garrett. Who, oh my God. Look, I see the plan. They don't expect to be competitive to 2029. But you know, you hit on most of your draft picks. We know Judkins is a stud. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Judkins is a stud. Fannin is a stud. They're doing a soft rebuild because of the salary cap situation that Deshaun Watson contract put them under.
They're waiting for that to get off the books.
Yeah, because you can't cut them. You cut them. That's what, 80 to 170 million.
That's 150 million at the very least. You got to eat.
Yeah, your salary cap is dead.
It's a soft rebuild for the Cleveland Browns because they're waiting for Deshaun Watson's salary to come off the books, and they can kick him out and not regret anything, because they're regretting that contract every single day.
It's you know what? But that's Jimmy Haslam's fault. He's the one that made the deal.
Guaranteed it. He's the one that guaranteed it.
Yeah, like I ain't guaranteeing you a damn thing. 200 something million.
You ain't worth it. And I get to mess with you by saying, I hate to say I told you so about Justin Fields, but I told you so. I told you 2 years ago he couldn't play.
Well, that's because he had no talent. But now that he was around talent, because the Jets roster had some serious talent. You know, Aaron Rodgers wasn't the problem. The problem was you should have kept Robert Saleh, but you also should have gave him somebody like a Ben Johnson. You needed a Ben Johnson type of offensive coordinator, and I guarantee you the Jets would have made the playoffs last year. They have the talent.
but they don't have the leadership.
Right.
And this proves it.
With Shedeur, I said, you were there, draft night. We
Yep.
thought for sure that the Jets
would take Shedeur Sanders.
It was 4 teams that definitely needed a quarterback. We already knew the Titans was off the list. They already took Cam Ward, and we're going to put a pin in the Titans. We're going to put a pin in the Titans. But we knew that the Giants, who went linebacker with their first overall pick, then they stole my Jackson Dart. I was so remember how pissed I was. Oh. So you had the Giants?
I wish Dr. Faulkner, I wish you were with us that night we did the draft, because when there were 2 situations, one of them Jackson Dart getting drafted, and then Cleveland made the pick that they did. Bay muted his microphone and went completely off.
I can sympathize with that.
So here the Raiders passed on them.
Yep.
The Jets passed on them
twice.
So then you had the Steelers. I mean, I'm talking first round. So then you had the Steelers.
And they said hell no to the no.
And then, I mean, the most desperate team that he could go to was the Saints. Because if he, I said, if the Browns pick him, there's a problem. There's a problem. And the problem is not with the franchise. I mean, it is. But as far as him falling to the Browns, the problem is him. The problem is him. And here you got reports. So the Giants report was true. Then then it comes out that the Ravens wanted to grab him in the 5th round, and he told them, "Don't draft me." You could have been playing right now, you dumb mother, father, sister, brother.
He told Charles's Ravens, "Don't draft me.
Don't draft me, because I'll be sitting behind, injury-prone." Never been a long time since he actually played every snap willingly as a starting quarterback. You know, not saying that he's always, you know, that he's gone for the season, but that's happened before. But that's your playing time to build. But it says a lot now. Here we are. Kenny Pickett got traded.
Yep.
Joe Flacco got traded.
Twice.
Yeah. Joe Flacco got traded to the Bengals and made that was a beautiful game. At any rate.
Oh, it was a hell of a game.
They called that the Unk Bowl.
Yep. That's what I called it. The Unk Bowl. That's what I called it this morning. That's exactly what I called it this morning. The Unk Bowl. That's exactly what it was.
My thing is, do you really think Shedeur fans? Do you really think that him being in Cleveland right now is the best thing for him? Where, I mean, y'all was talking all this shit about where he was playing with all his linemen were cut. Yeah, the same cut that Huntley moved down the field and got them in game-winning field goal range and within moments, with less than 2 minutes to play. So I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear that shit. But now you're saying that you want to start. Hold on a second. So now you're saying you want him to go out there and start where the Browns are playing tackles that shouldn't even be in right and left, shouldn't even be in the NFL. The number one wide receiver that they have on the team can't catch for shit. What's his name? Who's the Browns' number one wide receiver, Snow?
I can't even tell you because I don't.
Jerry Jeudy can't catch for shit. When Steve Smith sat up there and talked that shit about him on that that Sunday night football game, he did not lie. This nigga can't catch. But the Browns traded for him and gave him a guaranteed contract. 4 years, $25 million a year.
And whose fault is that again?
Your head coach, who's your offensive coordinator, has regressed horribly. I don't know if he's making up for deficiencies in the offensive line or deficiencies in the wide receiving core.
How about the deficiency in his brain?
Right. It's like fire him, fire Barry. Go ahead, install. Better yet, just fire him right now. Fire the head coach right now. Put Schwartz in interim coach. Let him audition. This is your audition, bro. You can turn this shit around, or at least make it look respectable. Then you get first dibs next year if we can't find nobody. But you definitely need to hire an offensive coordinator. Don't dick around. If you want to keep the staff together, that's fine. But you need an offense coordinator. If this offense coordinator is not allowed to call the offense, if he can get this shit going like a professional offensive coordinator should do, running the football, play action pass, throw it deep, run some screens, because you got rookies now at quarterback. You have no veterans.
Mm-hmm.
You have rookies. So you have to run a rookie offense.
But it leads me back to a 3-word phrase that's a running joke on my program. But it's Cleveland.
This is why I'm so rigid.
To say the least.
What is wrong with you people?
They have no brains.
And I get it. You're in a soft reboot. Next year, you've got 13 picks next year.
Mm-hmm.
4 in the top 3.
How many of them are they going to fumble?
If the draft hit like it did this early season, 2. Maybe 3.
3. I give it 3.
I'll say 3. That is if you draft offense like you did defense this previous draft. But outside of that,
now watch what happens while you say that. Watch what happens next April.
Look, fire that motherfucker.
You're gonna be with us when we cover the draft. I'm just wondering. I'm putting an over under in now. How many times you're gonna mute your microphone and go completely the fuck off?
Fire Barry now. Fire Barry at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back John Dorsey, but tell him, hey, look, we're going to give you a financial advisor. We're not going to overpay. Not going to do all this Deshaun Watson guaranteed contract shit. We'll do some incentive contracts, make these people earn it. But
none of this Jerry Jeudy shit either.
Right. We're going to build from the draft. We're going to build from the draft.
By the way, there's one key thing that I told you and many others that the Browns would be missing this year. A running game.
You have the running back. Quinshon Judkins is a stud. Nick Chubb, who? That dude runs through people.
It's not the back. I love Quinshon Judkins. Why?
It's your coaching staff. It's your head coach.
It's the quarterback.
Listen to my question carefully. You have a stud in Quinshon Judkins, rookie from Ohio State. Why don't they give him the football?
They gave him 10 carries by the middle of the second quarter against the Steelers.
Yep.
He finished the game with 12 carries overall, but he had 10 come the middle of the second quarter.
Which leads right back to my question. And I asked it very simply. Why don't they give him the football?
He was averaging 3.5 yards a carry. It's early in the game. Anybody with any common sense, this is why Derrick Henry finally went off. Anybody with any common sense says, you just keep pounding the rock. By the second half,
they're one down.
Well, here's
10-yard games.
Here's the thing about that. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's up, ABM?
Y'all have heard me say this before about offensive coordinators. Running the ball doesn't give them the fucking glory.
Depends on the
I see it all the time with the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
John Harbaugh constantly gets out-coached
Because he doesn't run.
Because he's too quick to let the offensive coordinator give up on the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Did it in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City.
And that cost them. 3 and out on the first drive, and they never went back to the running game.
It's the fucking offensive coordinators. Everybody wants to be the next genius. And you can't be the next genius. You can't be the next genius running the ball. That's not pretty. That's not sexy. You have to get passing yards. Ooh, look at all these passing stats. The running the ball is not sexy. This ain't the 90s.
Ask Richard Sherman how he feels about passing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
In case that went over some people's head. In case that went over some people's head. Remember Russell Wilson threw that interception at the goal line? That was supposed to be a run for Marshawn Lynch, but they were trying to get Russell Wilson the glory.
Exactly.
I'll never forget the look on Richard Sherman's face. Like, what the fuck?
One goddamn ball.
I'll never forget Marshawn Lynch's I'll never forget Marshawn Lynch's comments after the game. He went to the OC and laughed in his face.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He went to the offensive coordinator and laughed in his face, as he should have. You got Marshawn Lynch, best running back in the NFL at the time. He gets you 4 yards on 1st and goal. Why didn't you give him the football again?
And the Patriots
they conceded.
Right. They was like, hey, don't let him score.
The Patriots were capitulating. They were going to give him the touchdown. Tom Brady was talking with his offense, talking with Bill Belichick, saying, okay, what can we do to get downfield because they're going to score? And then that happened. You fool.
The Patriots like, oh, they're throwing.
I got a button for that. I got a button for that. Where is it?
Russell Wilson's biggest weakness was exposed. He can't throw over the middle.
He can't throw over the middle and never could throw over the middle. No. Not at North Carolina State, not at Wisconsin, not with Seattle, and especially not now.
Dog, look at the play call.
Huh?
If you were going to throw, you couldn't come up with anything better than an obvious 2-yard slant. The fucking DB jumped all on it.
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler. That now, I'm trying to find.
Did y'all see that how that Bengals Steelers game ended?
Old man Flacco.
If y'all missed it, less than 2 minutes to play, Aaron Rodgers hits the tight end for a 66-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and long. I think it was 3rd and 18 or something.
3rd and 18, and he hits Freiermuth for a 66-yard kill shot, or what we thought was a kill shot.
Untouched. He went
untouched.
So Flacco comes out, bing, bang, boom, throws a deep bomb down the left side to Higgins. Higgins makes the catch at the 10. Could have easily scored, and instead he slid at the 5.
Yeah, well, duh.
I think it was like less than, I think it was 1:30 on the clock.
They wanted him to score. The Steelers wanted him to score. First of all, that's the Steelers' fault. Dumbasses, let T. Higgins get behind your defense. Thank you very much.
T. Higgins. Steelers love to play man to man, but that's T. Higgins.
Let T. Higgins get behind your defense. Thank you very much. Dumbasses. You dumb fucks.
Dude,
listen. My wife and I were watching
Batman and Aquaman.
my wife and I were watching the final drive, and when Flacco hit T. Higgins behind the Steeler defense, I looked at Jody, she looked at me, and we both were like, okay, we can go to bed. This game's over.
Yeah. And
we did. We went to bed, woke up the next day, and my wife said, did he hit the field goal? Yes, honey, he did. 33-31 Cincinnati. And she was like, okay. Now I can really go back. I can really go back to sleep. But when
Look, it was a thrilling game, though. I mean, the Steelers came back from 10 down,
right,
and then was up 10.
It was a thrilling game, but in the tradition that is Mike Tomlin, the Steelers fucked it up again.
Oh my God, I'm still laughing at him taking that shot at Andrew Berry for trading Joe Flacco to the Bengals. Like this guy
and what
you know why who the hell does that?
You know why he responded the way that he did? Because he is petrified of Joe Flacco.
Yeah, he knew Flacco could still play.
He is petrified of Joe Flacco.
That was embarrassing. Embarrassing. No, but wow, we sitting up here talking sports stuff. All right, so this is what I saw today. Or should I just leave it alone? It's probably, but I should probably leave it alone.
Go with it.
So there's no Kings protest is today all over the United States because my Facebook timeline was just filled with that garbage. I'm trying to decide if I should go down to the one they're holding here in Atlanta, but I don't think I don't think that's a good idea. Not that I'm in favor of it, but I don't travel light. You know, I always travel heavy.
Yeah.
And I mean, these people are, I mean, they're paid agitators. And this is what they got. This is what was discovered. I mean, it's all connected with Antifa because they found out that it was the NGOs. They announced it yesterday. There's the NGOs that are paying these paid agitators. All right. And they're using American taxpayer money to do that. The Democrats are. So apparently the plan is to use the paid agitators to come in, and then Antifa, which is correctly labeled as a terrorist organization, they go in, they do their damage, and then they use the crowd to escape. So they're using guerrilla warfare tactics. Because, I mean, they see that Trump is not going to allow his federal agents to really handle these agitators like they should handle them with water cannons and billy clubs. They're allowed to use the mace. They're allowed to use the paint guns and all that stuff. But deadly force is only to be used, you know, just like if you was on the streets as a cop.
Right.
You know, the whole rules of engagement thing that you know Charles talks about from the military, your rules of engagement. So you're kind of handcuffed there, but as you can see out there in Chicago, you got them, they pulling guns on them, but getting shot before they could squeeze off around, ramming the cars, trying to run them over, all types of clashes that's going on. There's no Kings agitation. It's gonna be very interesting to see what pops off tomorrow.
I think what's going to happen is that you're going to see people escalating up the ante. Because when you fuck with the law enforcement, they're going to change their SOP where you're gonna see much more aggression. And
yes,
and I'm not against it in the right circumstances. And what's really going to be interesting is that agitators who openly agitate and they're paid to do so, what happens when they get what they're looking for? I'll make it
CNN is going to be peaceful protester shot.
because You have a constitutional right to gather and to assemble. Not against that. But once you start doing that shit and putting people's lives in jeopardy, I think there's going to be some hell to pay. And I'm with the shits. I told people, I'm with the shits. And like I tell people, I am here for your protection. I believe in your right to assemble in a peaceful manner. But if you come to harm me or anyone else, I got to do what I got to do.
Night, night.
If you pull a gun or knife on me,
Night, night.
that's your life. I'm sorry. You know, we're people are tired of all this bullshit because you're putting innocent people's lives in jeopardy. And these agitators are starting up shit and usually leaving, which is not fair for the citizenry. It's not fair for the people who have to deal with the ramifications of this bullshit. The cops are doing their job. They want to go home to their family safe and sound. They got to uphold the state constitution, the ordinance of the city and counties, and the Constitution of the United States. So if you're telling me a peaceful protester is doing this shit, a lot of times I beg to differ, because if you were peacefully protesting, there would be no property damage or no harm to anybody coming to them.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to get in?
A thought?
Go ahead.
Ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing. Is it apparent that that's the road being paved? In our deepest thoughts, don't some of us, wouldn't we like to just have those people who are quote unquote troublemakers just disappear? And isn't that in fact ethnic cleansing? Like where there's a majority of people who are of like mind that are only interested in the peaceful coming and going of day-to-day activity, want to get rid of those who cause chaos and disruption. Isn't that in fact ethnic cleansing?
Ethnic
No.
cleansing, but you're killing
Ethnic cleansing deals with your ethnicity, not your mentality or ideology.
I'm talking about each ethnicity dealing with their own sense of cleansing.
What do you mean
Well,
by that?
when you're talking about cleansing, let's just say what it is. It's genocide.
Extermination of the undesirables.
Well, who's being exterminated?
My question is, who gets to determine who's desirable?
Who
Here's the one thing.
Man,
Let's get this. Let's get this correct, right? Ethnic cleansing had nothing to do about legal practices. Ethnic cleansing is, okay, we're gonna pick on a helpless minority. They could be the majority, but the minority has the weapons and the money and the military. Number two, locking up criminals is a lot different than ethnic cleansing. When you're talking about the right to assembly and the peaceful gather, one, you have a constitutional right to do so, as long as it's peaceful. Once you go off the confines of peace, you're committing a crime.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing.
When you're putting agitators out who purposely into, or lone wolves, when they're coming out, it's just like, do we ban guns because of active shooters?
Okay. Here's the thing, right? You mentioned the term criminals, and that's very significant. You know why, don't you? Because our own president is a criminal.
Not if he's acquitted.
All
He
right,
was,
so
he was
we
acquitted
get to
of.
pick and choose.
Hold on, wait. Those 34 felonies that you probably about to bring up, yeah, he was acquitted of that.
Okay,
Nope.
we
He's
get to.
acquitted.
Because it was fraudulent.
Oh, really?
Those
Yeah,
were
because
found to
Letitia
be
James,
fraudulent.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Letitia James said that he overpriced property, which of course is like going to the pawn shop. You say the watch is worth $200, they appraise it and say we'll give you $80. What you gonna do? Say no, I want 200, and they say, well, okay, here's 200. I mean, that might work, but they gonna give you what they gonna give you. So he told the bank that the property was worth, let's say, $15 million. And the bank went and, of course, did their own appraisal because they're not just going to take your word for it. And they said, well, no, it's worth $8 million. So he said, okay, fine. Hold on. So he sold it so it was sold for $8 million. The bank got their money. He got his money and everybody was happy. There was no injured party. So Letitia James tried to charge him with fraud because he said that the property was worth $15 million. That's bullshit. He was framed. That's why the appellate court overturned it. So no, he's not a felon.
So
right.
when we look at this, how can I say
I
it?
wanted to rebut what he said, but that's cool. I'm cool.
Go ahead.
When it comes to what you had just mentioned as this big, beautiful analogy, the fact remains that his behavior displays a propensity of impulse.
So what?
And there
So
it is.
what?
It's the so what president era.
Bill
Like
Clinton was
we're in the so what era.
Wait. Bill Clinton was the
No,
same.
be dismissive.
As was George Bush Jr.
Dismissibility.
As was Obama.
Dismissibility.
Okay.
No,
And
dismissibility,
as was
sir.
actually Joe
Go ahead
Biden.
and
Told us if you
dismissibility.
don't vote for us, then if you don't vote for me, then you ain't
Go
black.
ahead and
I mean, what are you talking about?
dismissibility. I'm talking about civility.
Excuse me. I just told you that all of your favorite presidents or presidents before him had no civility. There's no such thing as having civility as the leader of the free world. You'll get walked all over. Your problem is that you're looking at a grown man doing grown man shit. That's grandpa style old man.
Wow, I really admire your choice of the English language.
Grandpa man doing what grandpa
amazing.
said, this is what it's gonna be, and I
Your
don't care whether you
choice
like it or
of
not.
the English language is so
Who
civilized.
cares? Who
And
cares?
there
Joe
it is.
Biden was wandering off into the Amazon.
There it is.
You all were sitting up here trying to give
You are dismissing civility.
kudos.
Can I ask a question?
In the history of the presidential race.
Why are we continuing this hypothetical situation of Trump want to kill all black people? Why are we doing this?
I didn't say black people wanted to be eliminated by Trump. I didn't say that. I said each ethnicity is going to handle
but that's
their own.
why you're talking about ethnic cleansing and all this. It's a hypothetical situation that nobody has said, but we keep going down this road. And I'm just asking, why do we keep going down this road?
You're going to interpret my creative, inspirational thought. That's what you're going to do? Okay, let me give it to you straight, right? What I believe is that people have been angry and Trump is representing angry people. That's what I believe.
Nobody's angry. You know what, mate? Let me tell you something. Because I'm not a Confederate. I've never been for the Confederacy. I mean, I'm conscious. I've never been for the Confederacy. I was not friends with Bill Clinton.
People were angry in 2008 when Obama got elected.
That's where the brother while he was talking.
My fault. I ain't hearing my fault.
You're fine. But the whole thing is that nobody on the conservative side is angry. They're not angry. They're frustrated because they're wondering why in the hell are the Democrats fighting so hard for.
What's the difference between anger and frustration?
Why you just gonna scold him for cutting
Now
me
you
off?
just cut him off.
Come on, play by your own rules. Why are the Democrats fighting so hard for criminal illegal aliens? We get that we've got illegals in this country, but why are you fighting so hard to keep the rapists, murdering, pedo, human trafficking, drug dealers? Why are you fighting so hard to keep them in the country? Why are you fighting so hard to continue to sterilize children under the guise of being trans? Why are you fighting so hard to send billions of dollars to Cambodia for transsexual tap dancing lessons? Why are you fighting so hard to do that? Why are you fighting so hard to decriminalize crime?
I would have to be
so hard to do that. That's what the conservatives are angry about. That's frustrated about. That's why.
Okay, which is it? Anger or frustration?
Why the No Kings parade? Why? We haven't had a king in 250 years. Why the No Kings parade?
There hasn't been a definition as to what the intention is.
What?
There's no definition of the intention.
The intention to do what? What are you talking about? The intention to do what?
To exterminate black people. I don't know why we playing like
no.
Yeah, I don't know why we playing like that's not the subject. Like, that's what everybody keeps saying.
Sir,
so let's just deal with it.
I'm not everybody, sir. I'm not everybody. Okay.
I said when
I'm as diplomatic as they come.
To start locking up these criminals, and the majority of them are black because they're the ones that were doing all of these little all these petty crimes, petty thefts, and they were getting caught, and then they would get a ticket. They'd be in and out. That whole catch and release. That whole situation where the black dude killed the little white girl on the train. Catch and release 14 times within what? For years. Like, hold on, this dude should be in prison, if not in the psychiatric ward. What is going on? Look at what, and this is like, these are the stories that y'all don't see that I see because I don't watch CNN, MSNBC. They bury this stuff. They don't talk about this stuff. This is the beauty of independent media. You see this stuff.
There are actions.
Wait, but I said as soon as
I can't talk. My bad.
People up, I was taking a pregnant pause.
I'll talk to y'all later.
The minute that they start locking those people up, the first thing black folks gonna do is scream racism. Because the very niggas that are hanging out on the corner causing all of the problems and whatnot, the street takeovers, the store robberies, all of that stuff, them getting arrested, you should be happy, and people are happy. You know who's not happy that they're getting arrested? People that support black.
Did I give you the indication?
Pro-blacks and pro-blacks, they support everything evil that black people do simply because
I give you the indication that I support dysfunction? Did I give you that indication?
Well, then what the heck are you?
Because last I heard, I don't support dysfunction. What I'm talking about,
when you say that you're worried that Trump is going to do some type of,
I didn't say anything about being worried about
then what
anything.
Are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is whether or not we're considering that there are orchestrated events designed in the interest of people falling for the trap. You mentioned yourself how you was thinking about going to an event that it could basically erupt in chaos that you don't want to deal with.
Right. Well, actually, it's like in a sense I do want to deal with it, but I don't need to be involved in that.
Why don't you need to be involved with it?
I'm 54 years old with responsibilities and something to live for.
Exactly. It wouldn't be a wise decision, correct?
You're right. But I think, but we already passed
So
that.
so
Wait.
these
Hold on.
these
We already passed
events
that. So your point
these
exactly. Pinpoint
events
your point down and
my
please say
point
exactly what you're talking about.
is these events are designed for people who are of an impulsive nature to eventually get themselves canceled out
Designed by who?
permanently.
Who's
Just
sending
the
them out there?
just the orchestrated
Who's sending them out
theatrics of
there?
it all.
Who's sending these people out there? Who's paying these people to go out there and pretend to protest? Who's paying them to
I
do?
don't answer those types of questions.
You don't answer those type of questions, but you ask.
How would I
you ask
know who's sending
with some
who
type of
somewhere?
matter of
How would I
factory
know?
built
How would I
into
know
them.
who's sending who somewhere?
Oh my God.
How would I know that?
Oh my God.
The same way you know that there's people that's impulse and they want to act on their impulse to exterminate people. The same way
There
you
are
know that.
people that are attracted to chaotic theatrical events.
Right. So
And
who's paying
those
them to be out
are
there? Do you think
people
it's the Democrats or the
who
Republicans?
do not promote tranquility in
So do
society.
you think that's the Democrats or the Republicans?
It could be either way.
Why would the
It's
Republicans
about the
fund
person.
terrorism?
There are people, like for instance, Officer Charles mentioned what he appreciates is that decent people are allowed to live decently without being interrupted by indecent people. And what
Mhm.
I'm saying is that indecent people are attracted to indecent things.
Okay.
It is not
So who's the indecent that you're talking about
people who
exactly?
are attracted to chaos.
Okay, so who currently right now, if you were to pick a
You were
political party that's
considering
attracted to
going
chaos,
to an
which
event.
one would it be?
You were considering going to an event that
Uh-huh.
you yourself
Uh-huh.
mentioned most
Uh-huh.
likely is going to erupt into
Uh-huh.
chaos.
Uh-huh.
You're attracted to that chaos.
I'm not attracted to that chaos
Then why were you considering going?
because
For what
ooh,
purpose?
it wasn't because of being attracted to chaos.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm
It's
going
a
on
matter
mute.
of being.
I gotta
Hold
I
on.
gotta
You
take a
want an
restroom
answer?
visit. I'll
You
be
want an
right back.
answer? I'm giving it to you. It's because I'm sick of this shit. But that's not an excuse to fuck up everything I got going on. That's not an excuse. I'm smarter than that. But trust me, I understand the temptingness of the situation.
It's funny because being confrontational for the sake of just being confrontational is a weird prospect for a lot of people. And when we look at this as, let's say, a protest, right? 12 people here. Make sure you all like, share, subscribe, donate if you feel inclined. Don't forget to add some questions and add to the open panel because anything's legal here. Shit, it's late night. Fuck, right? Off. You got to think about it. When you disrupt society from its norms, that's chaos. We need to just put that out there. When you go to work, you go off, and you're right, Destro. Going doesn't mean you're pro chaos or pro chaotic. Sometimes you got to see, okay. Sometimes I'll say this. Sometimes I'll go places just to see what they're about. And if we don't actually develop the way to say, okay, what is this shit about? How can we know if one side's telling the truth or not? I could go to a MAGA rally, depending on which region or which group of people. I may be welcomed. I may not be welcomed. If I go to, but if I don't go, I'm only making an opinionated guess. Because one, I've been to certain places where you would think, like gun shows. You think all these rednecks coming out there, but guess what? I had a ton of shit that I had in common with the rednecks. I like my guns. A lot of them were vets at certain times of, the American history. You're right, a Kabukian assumption. And you always make an ass of yourself if you just only go off assumptions. There are some guys who end up, hey, we belong in certain, activities and clubs. There are some things you never know. Hell, you'd be like, wait a minute, I see a bunch of black folks at shooting clubs too. So when we go to these places, you want to see, okay, because this is what happened in the news, last year? When people kept saying, every time we go to a Trump event, it's violent. Or some shit like that. And it's not. And I'm not saying that all those events, you're going to have good, upstanding people. Fuck no. But you have to go and see for yourself. Just like when I had dude on last night. And he kept saying, but Trump this, Trump that. Is it good to bankrupt Russia? No. Because do you really want to anger one false move? You're playing with one, number one or number two nuclear powers in the world.
Russia number one.
Yeah. And you're telling me from a pragmatic standpoint, and this is the reason why it's fucking hard to speak to liberals. And I proved, and just Distro, Kabuki, and other veterans, I think Mel is a veteran, right? The one thing that people don't get is that there's pragmatism when you have to think outside your goddamn self and box. Meaning, if we keep fucking with these people, there's only a long line before they up the ante. Because if you're trying to fuck with me, and I told you part of the deal was not to fucking put NATO on my shit. They can live long and prosperous as they want. Instead of fucking putting all that money into the education system of the children where you can possibly compete with China, you spent almost $1 trillion in Israel, Ukraine, and you want to talk about Trump's the reason? Do you know we had higher gas under fucking Biden than Trump 1 and 2? You want to talk about your inflation? See, this is the problem I have with the American public. You've been lied to so much. When a motherfucker tells you the truth, you cannot take it as so. You wallow in obsolescence and ignorance willfully. That's the fucked up part. You're not doing it because you don't know. You're doing it willfully. And it really pisses me off when how many times have we investigated shit like this, ABM and Bay?
For years.
Yeah.
How many times?
I've been paying attention to this shit since 2016 because they were saying this in 2016.
Exactly.
All of this exterminate black people, all this shit. I keep asking the question, where does it come from? Why do you keep delving into this hypothetical conversation that just don't exist in reality? And they never want to. Your man last night did the same shit.
Why do you think I brought him up there? I said,
Right.
y'all, we're going to take away your voting rights. Do you know how many times that shit expired?
Pro-black talk is what I call that. I call that pro-black talk. It's just like eating junk food. It's junk food. You can't prove it.
But yeah,
why are you eating it?
When I kept telling him BGS was apologizing. I said, no, you're saving him because every time he talks to me, he sounds stupid. If you notice during the whole debate, he was agreeing with B. He couldn't refute nothing I said.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. It's something's curious when it comes to private prison systems. Who is that designed for?
Criminals.
Criminals?
Okay.
What is slavery still legal in America, Mella?
If you're a prisoner, yeah.
What do they mean by paying your debts to society?
You know what it means.
Enslavement.
Yeah.
So, what's the best way not to be enslaved again?
Not to break the law.
How many motherfuckers go out of their way to break? See, I could
I
empathize.
think desperate people break the law.
No. I'm gonna tell you why that's not true.
You don't think that desperate people break the law?
I'm gonna tell you.
I think a lot of people that's not desperate break the law. I know that.
There's more desperate people who are willing to wipe your windows of your car. More desperate people who are more willing to cut your grass, take out your trash, clean your gutters. And I'm empathizing. I will willingly pay for food if a person's stealing a pack of hot dogs.
I will too.
Or some ground beef, which is not much. I'm willing to pay a guy, not my new car now, but you know, if it was an older model car, yeah, you can hit the windows. Hell, I might even let you hit the windows of my new car.
Do you think there's a difference between being desperate and being a criminal?
Legal terms, no.
Okay.
And morality, yes. In generality, yes. Here's the reason why. Everybody's equal under the law. So you commit a crime, therefore you're a criminal. Bada bang, bada boom. Not my saying, it's just what the man says. But this is the problem with people. People don't like context. It's like telling people why Jordan is the greatest. There's context because you didn't live to see him. You weren't born. He was doing things that it took LeBron many more years to do. Do I think LeBron is probably the most physically gifted? Sure, you could argue that. But you're talking about a guy who played in a rougher time, who played in a much more difficult time, a much more heavily defensive time. Hey, you got to give the man his due. Now, does that mean LeBron is shit and he's not a top 3 all-timer? No. You can give context for both. See, the thing is that when you have people still out there selling drugs, when you still have out there juveniles committing crimes, which, you know, the mayor of the city, some reason says crime's down, but you don't talk about the juvenile problem. How does the state's attorney of Baltimore City and the mayor of Baltimore City, they talk differently when it comes to crime? When you actually go to and you actually hammer these motherfuckers, what happens? Your city comes back in order. Nobody's willing to invest in, well, let me correct myself. Nobody seriously wants to invest in a shithole unless they're gonna buy it for cheap. That's one of the reasons why gentrification is at a standstill. Because of what? You're putting yourself out by allowing people to come in your goddamn homes and steal them for dirt cheap. It took you 30 fucking years, 20, 15, 30 years to pay that motherfucking mortgage off. It took them 5 minutes to use, eminent domain to build a fucking road or to snatch it up for developers to buy it pennies on the dollar. Now, to go back to the criminality of things, I'm going to say this, just like I told Homeboy last night. I don't give a fuck who's the president. Do your damn job. This is the amazing part, and I want everybody to say this, whether if you agree with Trump or not. He's not even out his first year being reelected. But has he done a lot more than most motherfuckers in 8 years?
Fuck yeah.
He ain't been in office 10 months. You got 2 more days.
Exactly.
He has the House and the Senate. Of course he
Obama
can
had
get
the
more
House and the Senate in 08.
Oh, please.
Well, he did.
Did you get your reparations?
You can't argue historical fact. And that's another thing that gets me upset with black people when I brought the guy on the show. He wanted to debate for months. You should see all this fucking propaganda bullshit he sends me in my DMs on Instagram. You sound dizzy. And then if you ever notice, at least Mela knows how to shut up and let somebody else talk. This is the reason why I got more respect for Mela than fucking 85-90% of niggas out there. It's either the two types of niggas I run into, right? And tell me if you all agree in the chat. It's either the punk ass motherfuckers who won't hit the link, or the punk ass motherfuckers who try to overtalk you and use 20 to 15 minutes to try to make up some grandioso bullshit because they really don't know what they're talking about. And as you can see, that was an example of it. Nigga, you don't know. It took BGS to come on the panel to save him because he was looking ridiculous. It took BGS to save him. Nigga, you're ridiculous. And then he did the bitch shit and get back in the chat saying, y'all just want to see Trump. You Trump. Who fucking cares? I'm going to vote for where my fucking opinion, my needs and wants align. Guess what? If Lucifer came out of the goddamn show and ran for president and he does a good job, guess where my vote's going to be? But you black people keep worrying about personality more than performance.
Charles, when that little girl from Bowie got chopped up by the illegal, all the black people was crying foul. What a tragedy. She was so young. She was only 19. That's a little black girl.
Yeah.
Was the illegal called a racist?
The same people hate Trump because he's trying to get rid of illegals like that.
Who were criminals. He even was.
Oh, but wait a minute. No. He's racist, because he's doing that to black and brown people.
Well, black. See, here's the fucked up part, right? That people won't speak on. It's been known for quite a long time that we had known terrorists enter the United States who told the border agents, if you don't know me, you will. We got away from the strong man. We got away from the commanding part of the commander in chief. And a lot of motherfuckers are not used to this. You utilize your authority and power. If you went into your father when you're a child and you defied your father or your mother, what would happen?
You get a scolding.
Ass whipping.
If your father said, I want you back in here 12 on a dot, you get your ass in there at 2:30 and you 15, what's happening?
You mean after he
He's gonna kick that
out?
child out in the streets?
No, you don't do that if you care.
And
I know fathers who have.
Well, they overreacted, but
you raise your child how you raise your child. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And see, sometimes you got to put tough love back into raising children, because for too long, especially in our community, because God knows if I utilize the scientific method, right? Which is what? Their hypothesis, right? First. And could I say, the single mothers raise great children. And if we
you can coin flip that one.
Huh?
So you can coin flip that one. Best out of 10.
and we conduct several experiments and we find out that the answer is an astounding hell no. Why the fuck do we keep doing this shit expecting a different result? If the educational system, once again, is making people dumber by maximizing the minimal. And we find out these children cannot functionally read and can't stay on a goddamn job longer than the coffee that they get from Starbucks to drink. Why don't we tear it apart and start anew? At some point, you can only rehab a house until you just need, it's much more cheaper to bulldoze that motherfucker down.
And this is what I mentioned, quote unquote, ethnic cleansing. Start all over.
Well, the proper term you might not want to use is ethnic cleansing. You might want to talk about rehabilitation. Because ethnic cleansing means we're putting people in ovens. We're putting them
Not
in fire.
necessarily.
Because if you're ethnically
We're
cleansing,
letting them hang themselves.
see, that's not ethnic cleansing.
Well, that's what I mean by it.
Because here's the part about it. Earlier, BGS did the rating system. What's the famous saying I talked about black men's taste in beauty? That black men are the garbage men of the dating world.
Yeah.
We don't have a standard. And if you don't have a standard for your women, how the fuck can you have a standard for yourself? It's impossible, right?
Yeah.
So if you can't even have a standard for your women and how to be treated with respect and dignity, how the fuck, like even the chick I'm talking to now, I gave her a workout routine just to test to see what she would do. And she kept with it for several weeks now. 4 times a week.
You want to keep that, huh?
Yeah. So if you can't make a standard, hold on. If you can't make a standard for your own goddamn woman, don't tell me about the standard you got for yourself. Because I tell any woman, your appearance is telling the world what you think I deserve out of you. And what I tell a lot of black men, look, if you think Aisha carries a 6 when in her prime, no makeup, most of these niggas cannot pull her. She wouldn't sneeze nor fart in your direction. But at the same time, what have you learned in the black community as a male? To accept everybody's bullshit and pain. So when you get older and you become a man of substance, you're foreign to a lot of bitches. Why don't you want to take me and my 5 kids? Because I'm better than you.
Well, I want to take 5.
I'm better than you.
Especially when you don't have them.
If this is the part about it. It's one thing if you date a woman with 5 kids and she was married for X amount of years. At least she had a history of being faithful to a nigga versus a woman who has 5 kids from 4 niggas. That means you have no faithfulness to men. That's no, you there. In other words, what that tells men on a biological scale, there's no dick you don't like.
What you mean?
If you got, in other words, let's say she has 6 bodies and she's got pregnant by 4 different men. That's almost a goddamn 80% chance you gave every nigga you fucked a baby. And you're telling me, and then this is her words, right? Oh, my baby fathers ain't shit. So you must be the toilet that receives it. You must be the receptacle. So you can't.
I know she hated that shit.
Oh, she did. It stopped her in her tracks. And it's different when you had dealing with a woman with children and she was formerly married and she gets the children full-time 6 months. The ex-husband get the children full-time 6 months. They get
And
the
you don't
kids.
get no way.
The other parent who doesn't have them for 6 months, they get them on the weekend. No child support. No. A win's a win. So it's like this. If there's not a standard put in place, that means is Mela a random or no? Mela's been in the space for a minute. She's one of the people in the space. Exactly.
Thanks for asking about me.
She's been a regular here, whether you agree with her or not. I got more respect for Mela than some dudes who come in here trying to troll and won't even click the link. Yeah, you're right. She's the common denominator. It's just like a dude who keeps dating the same bitch. Because we know there's a difference between a lady, a woman, and a bitch. Because one, if you keep dating the same chick who disrespects you, who cheats on you, what did BGS once say? If a snake bites you, cut his head off. If it bites you twice, kiss it on the head because you like that shit. And what you find out in the black community on relationships, a lot of motherfuckers don't think they deserve better. Because of blood, especially in the black community, a man dates to his ego and his wallet. If you think she's better than you, you're gonna get a chick who disrespects you. I'm talking to you, Steph Curry.
I remember Kevin Samuels mentioning something regarding Steph Curry and his wife. She does, according to him, she thinks that she's better than him.
I'm gonna ask you this, fella. Does she come off aloof to his success?
We wouldn't even know who she was if it wasn't for Steph Curry. Like we wouldn't.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have any idea who she. He's a man of prominence. He's a man of prestige. He's a man of superior accomplishment, and he's married to a woman. And because we value the term wife, we know her name, and that's all she got going for her. That's it.
And this is the thing.
You're his wife. That's all you got going for you. That's it.
This is the most dangerous thing that a man can ever face. Is a woman, you rather deal with a contemptuous woman than a jealous one.
Oh,
a contemptuous woman, she may pick, but she loves you in some way. She's never going to want you to really be bad off. A jealous woman is the monkey wrench in Swiss engineering. Each time she talks, this is what I'm going to say. This is why it's very important to know thyself and to know thy woman. When you get in front of business people, investors, this is foreign to a lot of black people because, we don't believe in betters in black community. Like there's some people who are just better. ABM's married. I think Mela might be, Mela's married or formerly married. I can't talk about being married. Have I lived with a chick for years? Yes. But it's a difference when you got papers, when that motherfucker got papers on you. That's a business. Your wife and children are a representation of you. If your wife is loose with the lips, that shows weakness to other men. When you tell on whatever podcast she was on, you didn't even want children, you just killed the confidence of your goddamn children. You might as well give them the crack pipe, the drugs now.
Yeah, that's wrong. That,
if you,
that's the
y'all,
wrong thing to say.
yeah,
Is she mentally ill?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Bella. What did Rick James say on Dave Chappelle about cocaine?
It's a hell of a drug.
What's the number one drug to women?
Pharmaceuticals, I think.
Attention.
Oh, okay.
Number two is jealousy. What is she lacking? What if she talks about she lacking? Male attention. And what's the hot box drug to attention? Jealousy. There's nothing in her life. There's nothing in her life that she can ever do that will outclass, outrank, overpower Steph Curry. You see the same
Mhm.
with Michelle Obama.
Mhm.
Michelle Obama, even when she's in the law firm, she never outranked Barack Obama. What's funny is that women, like you know, because you're a woman, every woman know the best man they could get. Just like every man know the best they could get. A good woman is content and even happy for that man. An attention-seeking, jealous woman will destroy everything that man builds. She can never equal him. It's like the Skeletor said to He-Man in the 80s live-action movie. You are no longer my equal. What consequence are you to me now? Kneel before your master. Every day in her life, she's got to say that to herself. I am no equal to him. And she's black, and she's considered pretty. She's an 8. She's beautiful.
Mhm. All right. With that being said, I'd like to bring up a different example, if you please, to
Mhm.
allow me. I want to talk about women who are emotionally disturbed. Okay. Take Princess Diana, for instance. Um, so she married that guy, who's due to be king of England.
Oh, the current King Charles, yeah.
Yeah, King Charles. Uh, and the whole thing of it is she was not content with accepting her position without his dedication to her. And is it possible that women who are displaying competitiveness, resentment, and, as you say, jealousy, is it possible that they are harboring resentment from not being attended to in a way that they anticipated as to why they got married in the first place? Is that
Um,
possible? Because I think a lot of these women are mentally ill as opposed to just being these conniving B words, you know,
that's part.
because you don't have 3 children with somebody that you never respected. Okay.
She had 2.
See it too. In other
Um,
words,
yeah,
Princess,
that part.
Princess Diana, like many women, because let's face it, Princess Diana did not come up poor. She was not poor. She was not poor. She's a branch of royalty herself. She's not the
She came from the house of Spencer, to be exact. And
I'm
secondly,
referring. I'm
she's
referring to the
hold on,
relationship, not the money.
just a minute,
hold on,
just a
hold
minute. Let
on,
me finish. I'm sorry to interrupting, Charles.
hold
Oh,
on.
yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, she's not poor, like you said. She comes from the house of Spencer. She's not the main branch of royalty, which is the Windsor. Mutton or whatever the hell they call it, but it's the House of Windsor. Now, a lot of times, women cannot take what comes with powerful men. That's why many of those women happen to be groomed into that.
Exactly.
Now, we'll go back to Miss Carey. Exhibit A. Who outranked who when they met?
They met in high school.
Who outranked who?
She was beautiful. He was enamored and smitten.
So answer the question. Who outranked who?
No one.
From a look scale,
Oh, the
provisions.
looks. Okay. All right.
When Steph Curry was a teenager and a little boy, he was a gangly motherfucker. He looked funny. So you're talking about a chick who was in senior in high school, who was a legit waking out the bed 8. Like she could sit on a casting call. You're talking about a chick in high school who could be a Hollywood casting call. If she would have been on TGIF in the 90s, she'd have been a star. Even though she has no acting talent to save her goddamn life, but she would have been considered a star. Motherfuckers would have been drooling over her. Okay? She outranked him. He was enamored. He was all into that. Now, let's go to college. She was asking him, why do all these people have your name on their jerseys? And he looked at her like, huh? Really? She, in her words, could never see. You have a son, Mella, right?
You already, yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
already talked about that. Yeah.
When did you
But
recognize?
for the audience sake, yes, I have a
Yeah.
son.
When did you recognize him as no longer being a baby?
19.
So it took you a while, right?
19.
So imagine.
That's when I realized I couldn't baby him. Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine she meeting Steph when they were like teenagers or middle school, somewhere like that. She never saw him pass the gangly little boy who was obsessed about her.
Precisely.
Then what happened? He grew into his grown man body and became 6'3", 6'4". He started to get his grown man face and look a lot better. He gets to the NBA and he's an automatic millionaire overnight. She's thinking to herself, I could have been a career woman. This is the sad thing she knew that could never happen. If she really was that talented, with Steph's influence and money and notoriety, it would have happened like that. She overestimated her abilities and underestimated his greatly. Just like Michelle Obama, who wanted to be a powerhouse lawyer making $200,000, $300,000 a year, knows goddamn well that she would not be at the multi hundreds of millions of dollars status without Barack.
You know what she said about him? When he won the presidency, she said, I can't believe you pulled it off. So
she never believed in him.
Yeah.
Imagine how you would feel.
I think she said that, and so we have to deliver that, or rather consider that in context about him being what was introduced to us as the quote unquote first Black president. In context, that's where she was coming from. But people misconstrued it for her never believing in him, because in a prior interview, she said he's the best man that could ever be president. That's a quote.
But
That's an actual quote.
at the same time, what other
So she
first
did believe in him.
what first lady? She didn't. But keep talking. I gotta call the kettle. Hold on. Keep talking amongst yourselves. Keep the conversation going.
Yeah, her comment was, he is the best man that I could ever consider to be president. And was she?
And when was that exactly? When was that quote? Was that before? Was that during or after his administration?
Before.
Before he got elected?
Before.
Before he got elected, or
Before.
Okay. All right.
Before is a complete sentence. Before.
Mm-hmm. All right. No worries. But go on, continue. As you were saying.
Mm-hmm. There were sentences from her that indicated that to protest that he's quote unquote wasting his time. There's no way that America is going to vote for somebody with his look, his name. There's nobody that's going to do, she was being non-supportive in that way, because she just did not believe. Remember, maybe you remember this. She said, for the first time, I am proud of my country. See, this is where the context comes in. If it's not that it's not that she didn't believe in her husband's ability, she didn't believe in America's open-mindedness. That's all it was.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, because if I remember, Patrice O'Neill said it better about that, like he once said, Obama as the president was one thing, especially for white men, because a lot of white men have reservations to answering to a black boss on the job at the job. So a black president was a bit of a tall order for many. But regarding Michelle not being supportive or whatnot, I remember late night comics had jokes about that all the time. Stand-up comedians were like making jokes about the whole situation about a black woman as the first lady of the United States. Chris Rock especially. In fact, Chris went out and one of his specials even said that Barack Obama should have had a white wife. But that would have been but that would have been a trade-off of a whole set of different problems. But I understand, it was 2007, 2008, and race was a huge elephant in the room. Nobody wanted to go near it. I mean, hell, on the Republican side, nobody wanted to go near it. I mean, his middle name, Hussein, which he inherited from his father, being the son of a Muslim and the grandson of a Muslim convert, a lot of people were questioning his faith. And a lot of his detractors on the Republican side during the campaign trail claimed that he was an Arab and a Muslim and whatnot. Even John McCain had to stand up against some of his supporters and say, "No, he's not. No, he's not." He stood up and said,
John McCain,
yes, he did.
Rest his soul. He did. He said, "No, he's not a Muslim." So.
And who else did that? I remember this, Larry King, when he was on Larry King Live. Former Defense Secretary of State, Secretary of State, Colin Powell, former 4-star or 5-star general, was in Joint Chiefs of Staff during George H.W.'s administration. he crossed the line as a Republican and endorsed Obama and set the record straight that this man is not Muslim, he's not an Arab, he is half white, half black, and a Christian, and I endorse him.
Yeah.
And he called out his own party for some of the slander. And he was even willing to set the record straight and say, look, race is still an issue. Let's not act like it isn't. And given the circumstance, the way that the nation was at the time, hey, a lot of people were asking questions about John McCain's, ability to rule, to govern.
Mhm.
Given that you're talking about a Vietnam veteran who is limited
A
in his
POW,
limited. Not just a POW. This is a POW who's when he was captured, both his arms were broken to the extent that he can't raise it above. He can't raise his arms up to his shoulders. If you ever saw him try to wave, and he also walk with a limp because one of his legs was broken when he was captured.
Right.
And given that he was like pushing 70 at the time, his age was also in question. So age, health, and everything. And not to mention his running mate at the time. Wait, who remembers who was his running mate? I don't remember his running mate.
I don't remember his running mate.
His running mate.
It was somebody that wasn't memorable.
Well, it could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, what if Herman Cain was running in 08 and made much of an ass of himself as he did, during the 2012, Republican primaries. But hey, it is what it is. Oh, by the way, to bring up what you said about Lady Diana,
Yes.
may she rest in peace. The entire monarchy at the time, and yes, I'm using a bit of a British/Australian accent when I say this. You know what I mean? The monarchy at that time, we're talking from the late 70s, early 80s, was going through a lot of transition because the country. Well, thank you very much. Well, the country was going through a large transition, especially with the media. And not just Lady Diana. This also happened to one Sarah Ferguson, the future who would become, the Duchess of York and the wife to Prince Andrew, the younger brother of Prince Charles, now King Charles. They entered the royal family at a time where you had a lot of transition within the country, especially with the media and the explosion of tabloid media. British media has always been known to be tabloid-like, but for them to be harassed by the paparazzi and photographers left, right, and center was very common, which led to Lady Diana's ultimate death. Ferguson, she didn't have the same problem, but eventually she made the decision before Lady died to get divorced. And divorce was the right thing for her to do, especially considering Prince Andrew's infidelities and his shenanigans outside the marriage. I don't have to mention the case he's right now dealing with.
He was a cheeky bugger.
Oh, he was known to the media as Randy Andy because he was quite insatiable. And by the way, among the Brits, if you are hot to trot or hot and bothered, they call you Randy. That's what you are. Unfortunately, if you're like myself, live in Scandinavia, Randy is actually a girl's name. So imagine a girl going to college in the UK, and when they ask her what's your name, I say, "Oh, I'm Randy." I see that you're Randy, but what's your name, love? That is my name, Randy.
It's the difference between an adjective and a pronoun. Okay.
Well, yeah. Just like one of my favorite. The difference, between the difference between a name and an adjective.
Okay, adjective.
Or in my case, when it comes to a certain term of a certain noun I like to use, which is a little profane.
Where are you from?
But it's my favorite because you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me. You are
I come from a place.
Interesting.
I live in Norway.
Uh-huh.
But I'm originally from a country in East Africa called Eritrea, right next to Ethiopia.
Uh-huh.
Most people pronounce it Eritrea, but it's actually Eritrea. You might, it's
You
where
actually
it's both where Tiffany Haddish and Nipsey Hussle come from originally on their paternal sides.
okay. You sound like you adjusted in life.
I was exposed to a lot
You're
of
a
things growing up.
chameleon. Yeah, you're a chameleon.
It's
You can
called
adapt
adapt or
to
die.
any environment. I hear that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I understand you were raised Muslim.
No, sir. Not at all. I'm actually not anything other than having been raised Christian, Baptist Christian. And I've
Oh.
learned different religions. I've been to many places. I'm a Gulf War
Mm-hmm.
veteran, you see. Well decorated Gulf War veteran. I have
Gulf
a Bronze
Gulf War
Star.
One or Gulf War Two? You got to be specific. Are we talking Operation Desert Storm or
The
Operation?
Desert Storm, sir.
Okay.
And
Where were you stationed?
I supported. I'm not going to get specific about it. I do have a Bronze
Okay.
Star. And see,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to my years of participating online, what I've discovered is being too open makes me vulnerable to isolate my location. I'm not going to do that. I
Fair
would
enough.
love
Fair
to,
enough.
but I'm not going to do
No,
that.
it's all right. It's all
But
right
yeah,
because we've
you're
had
very
because
interesting.
Charles and myself, we and some of the subscribers to this channel have served in the military one time or another.
Yeah, you're an open-minded individual. I was wondering if you could answer the question. No, I'm not going to ask you a question. It is my thought that men and women can have a code of conduct before embarking upon a commitment. That's not too much to ask. You just have to date with intention and establish an agreement before marriage, this code of conduct, and itemize what it's to be. Those of us who have been in the military, we are familiar with the code of conduct. Why can't marriage be conducted within the realm of a code of conduct? Like, I yield to you an agreement, and there are requirements that I would have as well. Why is that? Why are we having these combat issues? I don't get it.
Are you speaking about within your own community or within men, or are you talking about in general?
I think it's lack of sexual discipline. Women oftentimes complain and, dare I say, divorce eventually men who are not faithful to them, right? You mentioned Sarah Ferguson, right? She divorced her husband because he was unfaithful to her. Why is it?
And the scandals that were hitting the tabloids as a result.
I guess my point is it that difficult for a man to be faithful to his wife? Is it that damn difficult?
Well, first of all, this is a.
It's like, lady, please don't start.
Well, she understood. I mean, she did what she performed her duties in that marriage. She produced children.
Is it difficult for a man to be faithful for a lifetime to his wife?
As somebody who comes from a society where marriages are arranged, and haven't had these type of discussions with members of my own family, well, let's just say it depending on that person's constitution, if you understand what I mean. Be it a man or a woman, what is their constitution? Some people are genuinely, they prefer to be in long-term relationships and are committed. Some people have never, been big on marriage. And some people just like to mess around. Some like short-term relationships. Some like.
Why does a man get married when he has yet to resolve his propensity to mess around? Why do that? It's like, okay, it's your propensity to mess around. You're a player. You want to get down with everything that makes you erect. Why are you marrying someone? Just stay single, for goodness sakes. Why are you doing that? Why are you destroying a sacred institution when you could just frolic as you please without consequence? And then
there are consequences when you frolic. First of all, you're forgetting there are consequences when you frolic.
Yeah, there are men who want to continue to frolic, but have the audacity to bind themselves legally to a woman in marriage. Why do that? Why?
What is the biological drive of any male in the animal kingdom?
Now we're talking about animals.
There's a reason I'm saying this. Because human beings are animals.
Please make your point.
Is it not the drive of a male to spread his genes, to mate with as many females as possible and spread his genes?
It was nice speaking to you. Good night.
Oh, okay.
And when I say
you have a pleasant evening.
When I say nice, I don't mean pleasant.
That's okay.
You're insulting my intelligence. I don't appreciate it. Yeah, you're telling me that there's no way possible that a woman ought to consider that her husband would be faithful sexually to her, intimately to her. Her one and only is one-sided. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Why waste her time? You caught her up when she is just the most beautiful.
Well, fertile.
The most beautiful.
And
She's
fertile.
absolutely
Yep, that's fertile.
jaw-dropping gorgeous.
And pussy tight.
Hey, Chaos, let her be. Let her talk.
And because you want to somehow lasso that for yourself, you're wasting her time. She could act. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so there's no such thing as a faithful man. That's what you're saying, right?
No, I'm not saying that. There are faithful men out there. But then again, like I said earlier about, a man's constitution. If he wishes to marry, does he have the constitution to do so?
Oh, can you elaborate on the identifiers of this constitution you speak of?
When I mean constitution, what's in it? What's in his, in his core, or what is he about? There's some men who just. There's a lot of nuance on that one.
Yeah, how does a woman identify those nuances in this constitution of fidelity you speak of? Because
oftentimes it's not the woman who
critiqued for the divorce rate, when in essence it's not some whimsical decision. Oftentimes there's infidelity that is the core decision, as to why she's divorcing her husband. And apparently, women need to be able to pinpoint identifiers
Mm-hmm.
as to what it is in this Constitution you speak of, so that they don't waste their time procreating with somebody that's eventually going to step out on them. So it leads to a divorce, and then here comes the marriage divorce rate rising. There's a reason why the divorce rate is rising. It's not because she just woke up and just said, I'm tired of you. No, there's something going on that, dare I say, men don't want to acknowledge. The likelihood of faithfulness is slim to none. And that's a problem.
That's interesting. I remember Patrice O'Neill once said, most guys, and this is his perspective, his opinion. He said that when a man gets married, it's to prove to himself that he can be faithful. Oh, she's gone? All right. But like I said,
So what's the point if she asks about the faithfulness and it's bounce off the, like they don't want to hear the answer? The problem with these conversations, and I remember when Obsidian talks about personally about it's better be honest. Al Raj Curry said best to be have the balls to be upfront, honest with his ladies. And a lot of men are not going to have that capability if they choose to, because as you know, gentlemen, and you know it's personally where you at. Most men nowadays, even with the scale of what is attraction, what is tens, ones, and I have a different scale, and I might do a show on it in the future, that most men, we talk about men, and we could include black men generally, we'll be scavengers. We don't have no decorum of ratings. We think everyone we see across might be 7 or better. That tells when a man goes out his way to say, most of them he look at that look chubby as hell, maybe not attractive and all stuff. They'll label that woman as a high 9 or better for 2 things: for the possibility of sex, or the saying that it's her ego. So in regards to a man's exercise option, no matter what economic situation, regardless he's middle class or lower caste, I'm not even going to high class, he's going to explore his options regardless if he chooses to. Now, is he going to have high success getting these options? Most likely not, depending on the caliber of the man and how he's willing to deal with rejection. Because you ladies don't deal with rejection well. So anytime men have to be born into rejection. He must embrace rejection. The ones that get in their feelings and start take on violence to get what they want, that is a man of a low quality and low in all aspects. Because like anything, not everything's given to you freely. You might have to work hard. You might have to do things just to get what you want. And normally, if you got to resort to taking the pussy, is a problem, and there is a crime, and there's consequence to that. Now, and you look at most data. If we want to go to numbers, most men are not going to explore the consequence of trying to take in the coochie. So when you hear women talking about this sexual violence, I said, listen, what's the percentage of it? Oh, there's the answer. So it tells you most men that exercise it is a tiny minority, because most men are 2 things. One is death. The other is to be in jail and being somebody else's bitch. Now you could say something, Namer. I know you want to say something.
And consider this: men hate guys who do that, who force themselves on a woman. They despise them with a huge. Most men will despise that, because on a visceral level, we think that guy. When it comes to the game of attracting females and whatnot, that dude is cheating. You're a thief. Just like in certain parts of the world, they will chop a thief's hand for stealing. They want to incapacitate that man for violating a female or a woman, excuse me, because they understand that person could harm anyone in their own in your own family, because they know once that person starts, he won't stop. That person can, because we all know, like, hey, if you are going, just like we all know, like, if you're married and like in the Eskimo community, there's always that one man in the community you got to work. No, sorry. Anyways, that one man in the community you got to keep a watchful eye on. Like, say all the men leave either for the community to go hunting. When they come back and they find out all the women their wives have been impregnated by that one person, and most likely it was forceful, they hunt that man and make an example of him. But the real consequences is also, how do you deal with the children that are now, that are a result of this violation? Mm-hmm. If at all, those women can see those children. Do you kill those children? Do you eliminate those children as well? Or do you raise them? Mm-hmm. Because if you are the product of that type of, that type of conception, you have to look at yourself in a certain way. Mm-hmm. There are men out there who understand, who are incensed about things like that, because they are the product of that. Mm-hmm. As far as fidelity goes, that thing goes both ways. Mm-hmm. Men, just like, one thing women hate about men when they're in a relationship with them is we'll look at another woman. Mm-hmm. I remember Patrice said she said, when a woman's given birth, the pain she goes through in childbirth, we understand that's real. When it's that time of the month, we understand that's real. Women do not understand men unless it's in their best interest. It's in their best interest to do so. So, like, when a man looks at another woman, mm-hmm. What happens? She gets upset. She starts, she starts catching attitude, like. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes, like, say you're just looking one direction. There's some attractive women there, but you might be looking at something else. Mm-hmm. All she notices there's attractive women there. You're looking in that general direction. Yeah. She's like, "Are you lusting or something?" I said, "No." Did it ever occur to you, maybe I'm looking beyond them because I see something suspicious in that direction, and I'm thinking, okay, we need to get out of here. Or maybe I have to look around because I need to make sure this is a safe place where we can have fun. And if I see some attractive women, I said, yeah, that's an attractive woman. It's not like I'm diverting attention away from you, because women understand they have to constantly compete. But some women, they forget. But once they get married, they get too comfortable and think, like, I don't care. I already got the ring. I got him locked. I can do whatever. I don't have to step up for him. Some people have also said that, like, when a man cheats, it does something better for the relationship. You ever notice, like, if a man cheats on his woman and the woman he cheated on her with happens to be a lot more attractive than her, mm-hmm. she's not quick to leave him.
Interesting.
Think about it. I remember I remember Eddie Griffin had a joke about that, because he said, like, when he talked about Tiger Woods, he told the guys in the audience, yo, fellas, I want you to look at the woman you came in here with tonight. Look at her. You see how fine she is? Don't fuck nothing uglier than that. Because basically, if you're going to cheat, you don't fuck down, you fuck up. When you fuck up, you fuck up. You don't fuck down. Because say you're with Megan Good, right? Mm-hmm. And you cheat on her with Precious, Gabora Sidibe. Mm-hmm. She's going to laugh at your ass. She's going to clown you because, like, thinking your game has gone soft or something like that. You cheat on her with someone finer than Megan Good. Oh yeah, she'll act like she'll get mad, but she really can't get mad. You know, like say you cheat on her with Beyonce or something like that. She's like, oh shit.
Well, what about Rebecca that worked at the gas station?
Now, if Rebecca, is Rebecca finer than the wife?
No.
That just says more about, you know, what you call, if you're like a busy man or something like that, like Monica Lewinsky. You remember the Lewinsky scandal?
Okay, so what if she is better than the wife? But you know,
better looking than the wife. That lets the wife realize, oh shit, I need to step up my game.
See the bad gas station clerk with the perfect round and the pretty smile.
And the better constitution and the better, you know, had demeanor and everything.
Yeah, she was. Oh, she was with it.
Oh, she was with it, and she's like, and she's out of it. You remember Insecure? You remember the show Insecure?
Y'all hooking up. So, does her looks make a difference?
Her being attractive and having a better overall demeanor.
You would destroy your family because there's
if your wife is giving you hell.
I understand. I understand that, but well, no. I mean, there's a difference between, you know, your wife giving you hell as in pick up your socks. You know what I'm saying? And somebody that you had no business marrying. There's a difference. You just go ahead and get a divorce. You know, don't take the coward's way out. Either y'all talk it out or they talk it out, and what it be is what it's gonna be. But if y'all agree that this is what it's gonna be, and she don't know that you out here doing that, no, like just go and get the divorce. I mean, maybe I'm old fashioned, but go and get the divorce. But you know,
how old fashioned are you?
Somebody better. That don't mean that it is better. It's just fleeting. It's just something different for the moment.
Yeah, well.
Work out.
What? What's it? You know, like when a woman cheats, women always think like, you know, grass is always greener on the other side, right? Until they realize it's actually artificial turf.
Yeah, well, you know, they normally do that for the thrill. You know, because you just gotta have that drama. You gotta live that soap opera lifestyle. But of course, when you get served, when you get served them divorce papers and then find out that all his assets are protected and you just stuck with your little secretary job, talking about some finding a place to live, asking him if he could at least be generous to help you out with 3 months, you know, worth of something, you know, I mean.
And he gets his orange juice Jones on.
It don't be look, for them, it don't be worth it. Unless your husband is a cuck, it don't be worth it. Shoot,
and then again, how many guys when they find out the woman been cheating on them, they snap, and the next thing you know, they just like, you know, they take her, they take out the kids, probably take out the dude, and then they take themselves.
They walk in from a hard day work, honey, I'm home, and that's when normally that happens.
Or you could be like Dr. Sebi. You remember what Dr. Sebi did once? Yeah. He walked in on his woman getting, you know, in bed with another man. What did he do? He just looked at him and said, "No, y'all keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna go get my suitcase, pack them up, and just walk the fuck out."
I mean, that's the smart thing to do.
That's the smart thing to do.
Start serving them papers, but you know, But you know, you have to understand, man. I mean, and Melly, you can probably back me up on this. The only reason why you would be playing that type of foolish game in your own bedroom is because you want to get caught. You want to get caught. You trying to send a message. Why else would you do that? You know what time he get home from work. I know you. I mean, come on now. You know your ears is on 200 million listening for an engine and a car door slamming, a key going into a lock.
Do you remember?
You listening for
Do you
all
remember
the noises?
Mhm.
What the hell you mean?
Do-
He caught you on the downstroke.
Do you remember Billy Paul?
I've never heard of him.
Bitter. Do you remember Billy Paul?
Never heard of him.
You ever heard of the singer Billy Paul? Do you remember the song "Me and Mrs. Jones"?
Man, Mrs. Jones. That's
Yeah,
him.
Billy Paul. That's Billy Paul. Yeah, Billy Paul,
Okay.
the late Billy Paul.
I know the music. I don't know the artist too much.
Oh, ask your parents. They would have told you. You know, like he had another song on that very same album called "Am I Black Enough for You?" We was talking about the black movement, and everything. Oh, you got this. That was insightful. But that song, "Me and Mrs. Jones," we talked about how women were like very discreet about him seeing a married woman. And like you said, we meet every day at the same cafe at 6:30.
Bruh.
They both know it's wrong, but it feels so good.
Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is so. It's a culture. It's a culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a culture that was taught to us, because all them. I know you've heard about the stories of, the husband come home and some white man come walking out of this house and he opened the door and his wife was raped
During the sharecropping era, back in the South and everything.
This was
back in the sharecropping days.
During segregation.
During segregation, which was like a continuation of what happened during the time of slavery.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah, like those weren't struggle snuggles. There's no bruising. The house isn't torn to shreds.
Mm-hmm. In some cases, it was, but the white boy came up to her like, yeah, look, I hear what you're saying, but
ain't no white man walking up into no black neighborhood to forcibly take anything.
No,
they wasn't that bold.
Richard Pryor talks about that growing up, in Peoria, Illinois. Because remember what his parents were like. His grandma.
Relationships. I mean, look how these sisters act now. Talking about some,
Hey, that little boy, is your mom home? Like a BJ.
That didn't just start because Chrislyn cares in or something like that. No.
Hell no. Absolutely not.
So I mean, but that's a culture that was, that's something we. Oh my God!
Hold on a second, Chaos. Can you mute up?
Oh, sorry.
We're getting an echo on your end.
You know what fixes that? You know what fixes mandatory DNA testing and mandatory 50-50 custody, and also the current child support order that's out, where if you pay child support, you can pay taxes on your child support. You claim your child on your taxes. The other person can't. If they do, that's fraud. Okay. So if you don't collect child support, or they don't collect child support, they can still file the kid on their taxes. You can't, unless you're paying child support.
Okay.
Right. So now it actually pays now as a father to be paying your child support, because you know how she always bragging about getting her taxes. Now she always bragging about getting her taxes, even though she work a bum ass job or some shit like that. That's because of the child.
You mean a tax rebate?
Yeah, that's that child tax rebate. So now you about
to
be going to buy you a hoopty with your tax return that you're gonna burn the engine out or get repoed. Come now, September now. You're gonna have that.
What's that car? What's that car most black women be buying? A Honda Accord, is it?
Yeah, you're gonna have that type of money. You're gonna have that
dead ass.
Trust me, a lot of brothers pay child support. Look, and y'all know that will be kicking y'all ass. You know, it don't matter whether you can afford it or not. I mean, it's like, damn, like, and then I can't even see the kid. You know what I'm saying? Or it's always a problem. Yeah, well, it's about to be a real big ass problem, but you know, not to you. It's about to be a problem on the other end.
You think it's gonna be like what happened over in where is it, Kentucky, or was it Tennessee, where they had where they had the
50-50?
the reform, the 50-50 and everything?
That's
Where was that? Was that Tennessee or Kentucky?
No,
Kentucky?
in Tennessee got the DNA.
Okay.
Right.
Wait a minute, don't they have that? Don't they have the mandatory DNA in Kentucky as well? Because you know you got to worry about paternity fraud now.
I haven't heard about
You
it.
can sue a woman. You can sue a woman for
Paternity fraud is a crime there, though. So if you call yourself trying to get child support, you better make sure you pin it on the right man, because if you get just any type of lawyer with an ounce of a brain, they would tell them, well, get a DNA, order a DNA test. Prove that it's yours. Since you in here saying it ain't yours, prove it. That's right to do that.
Or yeah, just like I should use the TV show reference here, but I think it's relevant to this conversation. I don't know if you remember Bitter. There used to be a show called Boston Legal.
Yeah.
Remember that show? There was this one episode. The case was, and what's his name? James Spader's character, Alan Shore, had to represent a man who was suing a woman because apparently she was obsessed with him and claimed that she was pregnant by him. This woman was gaga for him, right?
Was she pregnant?
She got pregnant with his kid against his will.
Oh, wait. See, you buried the lead.
No. The case was the case.
How did that
He was using protection. He was using protection apparently, and she fished out the condom.
So he did sleep with her.
He did sleep with her, but he made it perfectly clear he didn't want to have a child with her.
So she did.
It was a short term.
Get it out the condom thing. The turkey.
She was hoping to entrap. She was trying to entrap him, basically.
Right.
So this woman was obsessed with, was fixated on him, and she wanted him to be her man. And she said, "Want to have babies and he didn't want to be a father." Now, unfortunately, in certain countries, I'm sure in certain states in the U.S., you can relinquish your paternal paternal rights to a child, so long as you provide a DNA that proves that you are the father.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Do that, yeah.
You can legally do it. I remember what's his name, the singer Tom Jones. He has a child. He had been unfaithful to his wife. He had a child with another woman, and he relinquished his paternal rights to that child. He wants nothing to do with that child because he said, "No, I didn't want to have that child." Although his wife kicked his ass for it. His wife kicked his ass for it.
That chick, the little Cash Me Outside chick, that's what her father did.
He didn't want. In other words, I didn't want you as daughter.
Right. Yeah.
You were just a nut or release, and so that's why it's funny. The father did try to pop back up, get some money off his daughter, but he said, "Hell no."
Yeah.
I see, piece of shit.
I'm glad I don't have kids.
I don't care that you're rich. Look at how you got rich, though. This is exactly why. That's why I relinquished my parental rights. Because I knew your mama was going to raise you up to be just like that on Dr. Phil, talking about some Catch Me Outside. How about that? And now look at you.
Look at you.
You sitting up here hanging off of the roof of your baby daddy's car. You trying to drive you off the roof of the car.
Just for some dick. Ain't that something?
Yeah, blacked your eye.
I mean, you laugh. It's
got you on camera.
Women will do
black eye.
They'll do anything for the dick, man. And we gotta be honest. It's not uncomfortable.
It was worth it.
But this is
money make it worth it.
It's late night, and this is Charles Channel, so we gotta keep it real. The ladies out here that's getting uncomfortable and find this misogynist channel. I said, no, we're gonna keep real with you, chick. You're here because you need dick. what I'm saying? You get mad.
And you're also trying to hope to take notes on learning how to exploit men.
Yeah.
Because you're hoping to catch somebody who hasn't been hip to the game.
And not only that, you're up here mad because that knows say that you want to know if there's a man that's only faithful. No, a man's only faithful on his options. You get me? Now, if a man's
only faithful as his options, like Chris Rock. Thank you.
That's all it is. And this is not rocket science. Now, you ladies going to have the more higher propensity for sex because you're giving up your pussy like it's crayons. It's like Skittles. That's why when we talk about the cheating,
Skittles.
Motherfucking century is you're giving up your pussy more than anybody else. The men that even get some or not are not getting much sex. The men up here telling right now is the honest truth. We're not bullshit, regardless of how this place was created. To those get access, bless you. Those that don't, it is what it is. But the problem is, you ladies, when we talk about the small percent of men that get access to your box, that is a choice at the end of the day. So he's talking about saying the men that you choose to fuck and then try to put every man that you want to fuck as all men, you're delusional.
No, they're not being delusional. No. Wait. Chaos. They're not. First of all, let's not overestimate or underestimate how they're intelligent. Because when a woman says, I want a man, she will speak she will speak deceptively in generalizations. Remember how women talk. There's vaginal talk and then there's dude talk. You know what I'm saying? In any language, men speak a certain way, women speak a certain way. So when a woman is talking about certain things, and I remember Cousin T-Talk, when he came up here, he was up here one time when Charles had a birthday stream. And I broke it down in a way that he already knew what I was talking about. Like I said, when a woman talks about she wants a man about this, that, and the third, she's talking about a specific man, but she's being purposely vague about it. You know what I'm saying? Because when she's talking about all men and this, that, and thing, she's actually talking about a specific type of man, but she has to be vague in a certain way. So we have to understand. We have to decipher what the hell she's saying when she's talking about men about this, that, and the third. Who are you talking about? You're not talking about us. That's why when I heard when what's her name was up here earlier, and I asked her about a man's constitution. I was trying to get into specifics, but I guess she got upset about what I was asking.
And that's cool. And this is the purpose of these conversations, to run women off the panel. If you can't handle the kitchen, you must get out. If you can't this hot environment,
you can't stand the heat. Get out the kitchen.
Out this kitchen. Get me, because this conversation is only for grown adults. If you're a person of a certain age and you're getting fucked upon and you don't like it, there's reasons for that. We tell the answer, because men want variety. Some days you might be up and he's going to say, "Fucking, I'm gonna go find a pussy." I might have one just lined up. It is what it is. You gotta understand what your man's capable of getting, what he can't get, ladies, and that's why you see a lot of women. And I fully believe why women deal with a certain small percent of men, because these men, one, really don't have no options, and two, either if they have options, these women make quick use of disposing these dudes because they're not here for the long run. So they give a little quick excuse, and they already lined up for the next stick that's on their phone right now. Say, all right, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna come to your house right now and blow you off.
Basically, they want to live like Beyonce in the Irreplaceable video, right?
Yeah.
But then again, sometimes, worst case scenario, that turns into the Roots' Break You Off video. If you remember that video, Break You Off. But let's not forget certain things. Women know what type of man they have. And if women know when they want to get out of a relationship, they want to come out of that looking like the heroine. That's the feminine for hero, folks. Heroin. I don't mean the narcotic. I know some people get caught up with it. But they have to paint the man in a bad light in order to get out of that relationship.
Exactly.
And one of the best ways to do that is, it's like, say you got a good man, right? Faithful and everything, right? Some women will try to set him up in a situation where they get a girlfriend to try to seduce him and whatnot, and and hope she can catch them in the act.
Yes.
I remember there's a song I mentioned a few times, and Bitter, you probably remember the song. It was by CNC Music Factory called "Things That Make You Go Hmm."
Yeah.
Bitter, you remember that song?
Yeah.
By the way, that woman who's singing that's Delma Davis. Respected voice, but what happened with the "Make You Sweat" song and everything? Martha Wash. That was like, that was a big mess. But that song, all the verses in that song make you think. Like the first verse, Freedom Williams talked about, like, he was talking about, his girl, one of his girl's best friends shows up at the house out of the blue, and he's by himself. He's like, and she's trying to put the moves on him. He's like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm not like that. And his girl comes in and she's looking at him. Especially then, because, when a woman walks in and finds her man and her best friend in a situation, and her best friend saying, he tried to seduce me. What? Now, how do we know this was not a setup? How do we know the girlfriend was not in on the setup? Hell, I mean, in Japan, they got, there are agencies that, women will hire to try to seduce their husbands just so they can, catch them in the act and get out of the marriage. I'm sorry, who was typing?
Oh no, sorry. I know my mic's on. At times, I multitask, so sometimes I might press my mic on it. But continue talking. Don't worry.
Yeah, but you sometimes get set up that way, especially if she doesn't like that guy. He was just what she needed, just to be the wife and everything. Because she wanted to be a bride, not a wife, but she wasn't committed to being a wife. She just wanted to be a wife for a time being, and then when she was done with the marriage, just try to get out of it one way or another. But I know some guys are willing to give her that grace by cheating, by stepping out on the marriage, hoping that that'll quickly get things over with, and just saying, you know what, fuck this, just serve her papers and let's go and let's get through with this. And people asking, why'd y'all break up? It wasn't working out. Hang on a second.
Okay. And as we wait in, please guys hit the like button, share the stream. You know what I'm saying? It's a good stream.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hang on a second.
Enjoy yourself, niggas. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. Drink some alcohol, man. Get some good cigars, man. Fuck. Man, yeah, like I was saying, the truth is not very much comfortable to a lot of women. That's a lot of women don't like when black men have mics. We start telling them the real shit, They really want to hear soft shit. They want to hear what they've been conditioned to hear, because too many soft dudes that wants to get access to a lot of women, especially black women's pussy. And this is my thing. And I've been eager to say this. And I don't never get no answer. I tell most black men this. I say, what is so you fascinated that is it really worth black pussy at this time and age in the 21st century? Because we're in America. Besides you, Namor, you're in another country, but nonetheless, it's not that much investment.
I'm still black.
I know. Can you run black people too? Where you at? Okay. It's not that much investment into black pussy in the 21st century. And a lot of black women want to keep you in this environment. I would say, no, this is the only access you're going to get between women's legs is between us, and i.e. black pussy. So you better bow down to the so-called matriarch or bow down to the pussy, our pussies. And if not, you're going to be looked at and shamed. We're going to call you all things for the love of God. We'll call you little dick energy. We'll call you the F word. we'll call it all these words to shame you back into getting access or the possibility access of black pussy. And I say that shit right there. Now I don't push that back, but I tell most men do what is in your best interest. Unfortunately, you should have box in to no set of women in pursuit of the end game of access to black pussy. Right? They gave it to you. Matter of fact, there's things right now on social media where there's too much non-black women, or what they call the snow bunnies. From the spicy snow bunny to the snow bunny, they are begging and preaching, right? They want clickbait or not, that they want access to your dick. So you have some options. Make use of your options and don't give it so freely.
Well, there is the dangers of stepping out.
She wrote something in the chat room. Name her.
Yeah, she's still back there. Hi, Mela.
Said you were being invasive. She said you've been invasive. I don't know if you want to elaborate.
Am I?
That's what she's proclaimed right now. And I don't know if I.
Wait, is she accusing me? Who's she claiming to be invasive?
Well, is she in the back check? Let's check.
Where she was it? She said embellishment much?
Yeah. I think she's talking to you because you're talking about and you're giving the honest truth about why a man in her mind can't be faithful. So you're going to have to explain it to her again because repetition is key, name. So I'm gonna be silent.
I get that, but here's the thing: you have to understand here, bro. What is the male perspective? Can you answer that for me, Chaos? What is the male perspective?
Well, if we're gonna be honest, the male perspective, since there's very few women on here, we're just gonna keep it real. Is that I tell you, baby, I understand you, but overall, a man is gonna seek other coochie if necessary. You get me? And it is what if he wants to do it or not.
No.
Right,
I'm sorry, bro. I gotta stop you there.
Stop him right there. Okay, go ahead.
It's a trick question because there is no such thing as the male perspective. Because if there was one, then women would have an easier time trying to pigeonhole us into one. Okay. Just like there is no such thing as the female perspective.
Okay.
And I've said, and I'll break it down. One time, I had a good friend who's happily married still, and I told her there is no such thing as a male perspective. There's only one male's perspective that you're usually concerned with, and that is the man you are involved with. But but that doesn't mean you completely understand him. You have some understanding of him, but you don't know everything. You will not, or sometimes refuse to comprehend everything about him. Yeah. On the flip side, there is a female perspective, and that is usually the woman you're involved with, because it's her perspective you have to keep in consideration on certain things. But that's if if you're willing to go through all the bullshit to understand every aspect of her. And it's a never-ending process. You know what I'm saying? Every man has his own individual perspective. We could have similarities, like you and I could have certain similarities in our own perspectives, but my perspective and your perspective is not the same. You feel me? So
yes.
So your perspective on things. So if a woman talks about the man's perspective, she has to be specific whose perspective she's talking about. Because she's not talking about my perspective. She's not talking about your perspective. It's usually going to be the perspective of the man she's either involved with or the perspective of someone who had some kind of guidance over her, like her father. That's why women's understanding of men, first and foremost, comes from their father or the men in their lives. But they have a tendency just to project that onto other men. And we have the mistake of sometimes, being influenced by the perspectives of the women in our lives. Although, depending on who the women in your life, in one's life are, they could have had a negative or positive influence on you. So this is why, I have an issue with generalization on certain things. Yeah, there are generalizations when they're that are applicable, yes, but in certain aspects they're not, because that's why you have to draw the line with certain things that are viewed in the collective as well as viewed in the individualistic. So, because, like, for example, my perspective on things are not going to be the same as Charles's. We may have common ground on certain things, but not on everything. Just like with Bitter Truth here, or with you and I, we may have some, we may have common ground on certain things with our respective perspectives, but it's not one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Indeed.
This is why we all come together, because we're all because when we come together, when we come together, we have these discussions. We build. We pass on information to one another, and we try to help and we end up uplifting each other because we understand working together as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that more than answers some questions.
Answer my question. Yep, it does.
Huh?
Yeah.
I didn't answer your question. Did I answer your question or did I not?
No, you answered. I say yes, it did.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. I like that. That was good. Yeah, Mel, if you want to come back up, Mel, we did open back up for you. So
yeah. Come on up. What time is it? Because I gotta get my ass. It's 9:40 in the morning up here. I need to get my ass out the house because I gotta do some grocery shopping. Because I got a lot.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Night.